Okay. So let me continue. So the best way or the highest blessing that we can receive is to practice according to the teaching. So today I would like to share with you the topics of the Four Noble Truths and the Four Great Vows. How the Four Great Vows in the Mahayana tradition is related to the Four Noble Truths. So Manjushri Bodhisattva is one of the great or well-known Bodhisattva in the Mahayana traditions. And there is a special or teachings and practice specialized in the Manjushri Bodhisattva. Here I would like to show you that actually there is a huge volumes of the Mahayana Sutras that relates to Manjushri teachings and practice. Okay, maybe some of you who are familiar with the sutras, you might be able to relate Manjushri to Lotus Sutra or flower ornaments sutras very easily. But actually, there are also many other sutras that directly relates to Manjushri. Here you can see that I show you a list, some of the sutras from the early Mahayana. I did not translate them because I'm not going to go through them in details, but I just try to show you that the categories of these sutras. For example, there are the Buddha preaching to the Manjushri in certain sutras, and there are also sutras that showing that the Manjushri engage in the Dhamma talks or the Dhamma discussion. There are also sutras where the Manjushri is the main characters, okay? Or some sutras you'll find that Manjushri is preaching the Dhammas. So all these kind of sutras form the doctrines of the Manjushri teachings and practices. But because it's not easy for us to read all these sutras, and it is time consuming to read and understand. That's why the Buddhism, we make full use of the paintings, sculptures, and statue to address something, okay? That's why we have the statue. Here this picture you can see that is the Manjushri Bodhisattva statue at MABA. Okay, so we have four Bodhisattva statues at MABA. Manjushri is one of them. So what does that mean? The name of the Bodhisattva. So Manjushri actually it means wonderfully auspicious. It's a Sanskrit word that combined together means wonderful, auspicious. Okay, and actually Manjushri always appears in Lotus Sutra, which is more well known to us compared to the sutras that I show you in the previous slides. So, and Manjushri is foremost in expounding the profound and the transcendent wisdom. For example, if you read the sutras, you might come through things that no eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and mind, and then it's neither rising or ceasing, is present, is neither present nor not present, something like that. So all this sounds so profound, and we cannot really, it's not easy to understand, because they are so profound. Okay, and another features of Manjushri is always writing on a green lion. Lion is a symbol of lion roar in Buddhism. That means when someone able to speak out, to expound the right Dhamma fearlessly, correctly, and in details, that it can tame all the wrong views and all other wrong practices. It's just like the roar of the lion, the king in the jungle. So lion roar is a symbol of expounding the wisdom, okay? And another feature of the Manjushri Bodhisattva statue is always holding a swan or a rui cane. So the statue at MABA, Manjushri Bodhisattva is holding a rui cane. So rui, the meaning is a Chinese character. In Sanskrit, it is Anuruddha. the meanings of Rui means as one wishes. Not the original functions of this cane is to reach out to our back. If our back feel itchy, we can use the cane to scratch the back. So as one wishes, you know. So later on, this Rui cane become a symbol of it as a auspicious symbol, and is always seen in a Dharma lecture or in a Dharma hall when a Dharma preacher want to give a Dharma talk. So it's a symbol of auspicious. And Manjushri Bodhisattva is also one of the sages in the Avatamsa Sutra. Okay, that is the flower ornament sutra. So in the Avatamsa flower ornament sutra, the Manjushri Bodhisattva is always at the left hand, is the left hand assistant of the Vajrachara Bodhisattva Buddha. So in the center, there is the Vajrachara Buddha, and the one next to him in the right, riding on the white elephants, that is the Samantabhadra Bodhisattva. So three of them from the three sages of the Avatamsa Sutra. And according to the sutra, Manjushri Bodhisattva already reached a very advanced stages. It's already in the 7th stage in the advanced practice of the Bodhisattva path. So how advanced it is, okay? Here I'm going to show you a very simple diagram so that you know where he is. So along the path of the Bodhisattva practice, we start from as outsiders, and then we begin to practice, and then continue to move on until the last stage or the most advanced stage. So outsiders refer to the people who has no confidence, who don't know what is Dharma, who don't know the practice, they don't have the faith in it, they don't want to practice. Those are, we say, the outsiders, they have the doubts, okay? Whereas the beginners are the people who already, they haven't started practicing yet, but they started to have a certain understanding. They started to develop a certain levels of confidence and faith. That's why they make aspiration, they want to practice, okay? They are not perfect yet, but they want to practice. That's how they start to set on to the path. And the more they practice, the more they can, and in this, along all this path, it actually can represent by this diagram. So for beginners, why the mouth here? You can see that here is huge. Why is a big open? Because it means that for beginners, we can start from many different approach, different skillful ways. You know, some people get in touch with Dharma because of arts, because of something happened in life, because of they read a book, because of they heard a story, because of the friend's introduction. So they can come into the path from many different directions. But the more they practice, the further they go on, no matter where you come in, definitely you need to encounter a very key point, that is to break the self-will in order to transform ourselves from an ordinary person into a noble person, okay? So breaking the self-will means there is no more self-attachment, no more doubts. It's a full confidence on the Dharma, on the Buddha, and then on the Sangha, and then is definitely will observe the precept, no doubt in observing the precepts. These are the characteristics of the noble ones after they break the self-will, okay? And so here you can see that after that, there's another 10 stages of advanced Bodhisattva practice. And according to the Flower Ornament Sutra, Manjushri is already at the 7th stage. So that is very advanced. 7th stage, that is he already achieved the wisdom of non-arising of phenomena. That's why he can talk all this like neither rising nor ceasing, neither present or non-present. You know, those are the very deep and profound wisdom. But you know, maybe you know after 2,000 years of the spreading of the sutras, maybe the Manjushri Bodhisattva already made more progress. Maybe he is more advanced than the 7th stage now. We don't know, okay? But for us, today I would like to review some of the fundamental but very important ones in the teaching together with you all. So let us go back to the very beginning, the very first stage, the first abode, that is the where and how we can arouse the aspiration in order to walk on the path. Okay, so first, let us go back to the very first teaching of the Buddha, because all the teachings, no matter what path you vows to walk on, they are all originated from the first discourse of the Buddha when he attained the supreme enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. So according to the first discourse given by the Buddha, setting the view of Dharma in motion, sutra. In this sutra, you can read the sutra in the Samyutta Agama or the Samyutta Nikaya, okay? The three main points in this sutra is Buddha first advised the 5 audience at that time that we should avoid the 2 extremes. What are the 2 extremes? The first extreme is indulge in the sensual pleasures. That is not the right way, okay? That is the vulgar way, and it will not lead us into the realization of the truth. And the second extreme is the self-modifications or the asceticisms, okay? So torture the body, torture the mind and the body, that will not cease the suffering, will not cease all the unwholesome cause. That is the wrong way. And the right way is the middle path or the Noble Eightfold Path. And this Noble Eightfold Path is the only path that can lead us to the realization of the ultimate truth, just like what the Buddha has realized. And what the Buddha has realized under the Bodhi tree that time is the 4 Noble Truths, okay? The 4 Noble Truths is all about suffering, causes of suffering, and then path to cease the suffering, and what is the ultimate state after ceasing the suffering. Here, let's come to the first truth that the Buddha realized. He talked about the sufferings. He says that according to what he realized is the principles of the dependent co-arising. Through his deep and profound observation, he concludes that the suffering can be grouped into like the physical suffering, that is birth, aging, sickness, and death. As long as we are born to this world, we cannot run away from birth, aging, sickness, and death, okay? No matter we like it or not. This is just the reality. And the second is the mental suffering, like sorrow, lamentation, grief, despair. When we are separate from our loved one, or when we cannot run away but have to associate with the one who we hate, we do not like, okay? And when we cannot get what we want. So all these are called suffering. And here I would like, so some people, I know that there are people who do not like to hear about the word suffering because they think that Buddhism is too pessimistic if we keep talking about the suffering. But actually, I think, well, the way we look at it is Buddha is not pessimistic, it's not negativity, because he is so pragmatic. Only if we are able to know the causes and conditions for the sufferings, then we can be fearlessly, we can be truthfully in handle it, in deal with it, so that we can overcome it. So he showed us a path in a very practical way. It is not pessimistic, okay? Then when we not talk about happiness, there are so many happiness, you might say. You think that, oh, sometimes, even though now it's a pandemic time, we see all these different kinds of forms of suffering out there. There are people still starving, cannot get a job, and then struggle to live in the hospital. They have to separate from their loved one. But at the same time, there are still people who can live quite a very good life, okay? So for those who have less suffering, they might think that, okay, living together with family, with my loved one, enjoy my a cup of tea or good food or scenery, music, all these are happiness. But what the Buddha said that these kind of happiness are subject to sensual pleasures. They are transient, they are very temporary. When they cease, when they disappear, then the suffering will come again if we don't see the truth behind it. And here I would like to take the chance to share with you all that suffering actually is a university of life, okay? Regardless of age, regardless of your gender, regardless of the races, where we come from, regions, belief, this is every beings will experience and have been experiencing, okay? So we do not, if we can see the common ground that's shared by all beings, all human beings, then we will not try to divide this from that, this person from that person, this group from that group, you know, because this kind of division will just cause more division in the country. They will not cause the unity in the country of a nation. If we can go beyond the surfaces, the surface layer of colors, age, gender, social status, and we can see that actually behind, under it, there is suffering that we all share in common, then it's easier for us to generate the compassion and loving kindness and thoughtfulness to all kinds of people, no matter who they are, what kind of language they speak, what kind of culture they come from, okay? Because suffering is something that we share together, is a manifestation because of the ignorance or the craving that we all have, okay? Nobody can run away from it, and it's not a blameworthy, it's not a punishment, but it's a way to out if we able to see through it and know the cause. That's why if we able to see all these causes and conditions that relates to the suffering or stresses that we're experiencing, then it's very easy for us to arouse an aspiration that is countless. There are many other beings to have this kind of experience, and I want to liberate them. I want to be free, and I want other people to be free because we are in the same network of connectedness. So this world seems so huge, you know, countless. How can I do so countless of work? But actually countless here, it means to go beyond the concepts of idea, of numbers. We forget about the numbers. We forget about the identity. We forget about the judgmental mind. It's about the direct connection, the direct feelings. The moment we see other people experiencing something, suffering, or their need, immediately we reach out. The empathy, the loving kindness, compassion rise up. Once we hear them, we see them, and we want to reach out. That means there is kind of the pure loving kindness and compassion to them. It's not because I'm more superior than you or I'm more capable than you, that's why I help you. No, it's just at this moment, at this position, I have the need, I have the able to help you. That's why I reach out to you. At the other time or at the other moment, I'm the one who are being helped. And that is how we help each other and support each other in life, okay? And when we say about helping and reach out to people, it's not just without training, okay? We need to cultivate compassion, we need to have wisdom, we need to have other skillful means. For examples, it's not just about being speaking something true, okay? We need to have skillfully how to take action, to speak the right thing to the right person at the right time, so that our action and speech will bring benefits to the person just at the right moment. Sometimes, in the country like this, like us, we have the freedom to speak. Doesn't mean that we're free to speak out our emotions, to free to speak out our thought, but we also have to be aware the consequence and the effect of our speech, of our actions. Okay, that means that is how we apply the compassion, the thoughtfulness, and wisdom together. And this requires constant mindfulness, constant reflection. Without the constant mindfulness and reflection, we are easy to speak, to act according to our habits. And most of the time, our habits is embedded with ignorance, greed, ill will, and all other kinds of unwholesome intention. That is not what we want, okay? So that is the first one. The second one, what is the causes of suffering? Again, when we trace back to our actions, actually, it is the root cause is the craving. Craving because we don't see the truth, okay? Craving because we thought that what we get in contact, the feeling, the present feeling that arises is what we want, okay? So we crave for the sensual pleasures to our eye, ear, nose, tongue, and the body sensation. When the unpleasant feeling arises, we want to run away from it without seeing the truth. When the pleasant feeling arises, we immediately cling to it, crave for it, and want to hang on it without knowing the truth. Okay, that is the craving through the sensual pleasure. We also crave for our own attachment, like our own status, our own existence, household, possession, and future life. We also crave attached to our own views, habits, and the benefits that we have. It's so hard to give away our views, habits, and benefits. For examples, why we argue with people sometimes, when we disagree with people, because different people, they hold on to their own views. So when we have different viewpoints with others, arguments arise, debates, disputes happens, okay? Not only we crave for all these external and internal in the body, we also, even in the meditation states, according to the advanced practitioners, craving for the form and formless existence is also a kind of craving, and those also subject us to the cycles of the rebirth, okay? So if we know that, that's why meditation alone, practicing the concentration alone, doesn't means that we are free from the attachment. We are free from these cycles, free from bondage. Because even without the right understanding, right insight, even someone has reached the highest formless jhana, they are still not liberated from the samsara yet. So someone who truly acknowledges the causes of suffering, then he'll make up the decision, a determination saying that endless are the defilements, I vows to eradicate them. They can see that there are so many layers of defilements or afflictions, these kind of bondages that we need to remove, have to abandon. And according to the Buddhist perspective, there are 5 lower levels of feathers and 5 upper levels of feathers. So 5 lower levels of feather are the sensual desire, ill will, clings to the wrong disciplines, like the wrong practice, wrong rituals, and we have the doubts on the truth, the teaching on the truth, and so on. Only if someone breaks the self-will, just like what I showed you just now, then he can overcome or abandon the 5 lower levels of feathers. And then there are another further upper levels of feathers. But for us, how about like us, back to here? Where we can start as an ordinary person in the ordinary life, that is something very important we need to establish first. That is the foundation. Let's start with building up a disciplined life with a moral life, okay? Without discipline and ethics concept, If the life is a chaos, it's hard to practice meditation. It's hard to practice, to develop, to cultivate the inner insight. So that's why whoever want to learn, this make the difference between the Buddhist way of meditation and the secular meditation. Because in Buddhism, we said that let's build the foundation first. Without foundation, it's hard to move on, okay? But we don't just talk about letting go, okay? No attachment and letting go. When we say that we want to let go of the unwholesome one, we need to cultivate, we need to have something, develop something wholesome first. It's just like when the body needs food, but we don't eat junk food. We eat something nutrients to the body. We need some good food. So there are 4 types of nutriment to support the body and the mind. So edible food is to support this physical body. We eat something nutritious, something supporting to the body, and not something like junk food that is high in cholesterol, high in sugar, high in salt, okay? But something healthy and benefit to the body. The second type of nutriment is sensory food. Sensory food are the contact through the 5 senses, like the contact through the ears, nose, eye, tongue, and the body. Like eye, when we see a beautiful scenery, that must make the mind present and easy, feel free, okay? So when the ear listen to a good music, then the mind, we feel calm. So we have a choice. Instead of listening to a music that can arouse our sensual desire, sexual desire, let's listen to the music that can calm down us, that can relax our body and mind. The same. For the body, instead of you do something that stress the body out, let's do some good exercise, train the body, make the body fit through the body contact, like going for yoga, going for swimming, and do something beneficial to the body contact that helps to fit the body, make the body and the mind strong and fit in order to walk onto the path. So the point here is we need to choose. Once we learn that, we need to have the wisdom to choose the right nutrients to support us on the path, and to abandon those the bad one, the bad nutrients that will astray us from the path. Okay, and the third type of nutriment is volition. Volition means we have to have the strong determination, the willpower. How can we strengthen our willpower? We human are a social beings, okay? We cannot live alone. We can see that we are in the network of the interconnectedness. So instead of you connect with bad friends, okay, then choose a good friends, choose good teachers that can support you, that always give you nourishment, spiritual nourishment, okay, that helps you to strengthen your aspiration, your willpower. Instead of you meet with someone who always condemn on you, who always pull down your spirit, okay? This is how we look for the good nutriments. And the fourth one is the consciousness. Consciousness actually is a much deeper one. It's actually the deep, what we call the come with the instinct. Consciousness in the Yogacara, we said that there is the seven consciousness, or the one that attach to the renewal of the being, that causes in the samsara coming back again and again. Okay, that is the much deeper one. So now after we learn that, when we say that we want to remove all the defilements, how to eradicate all the defilements, let's talk about not only letting go, abandon, we also need to choose the good one, the wholesome one, in order to support us, okay? And along this way, we need to have the concept of cause and effect to support us. What is the cause and effect? Okay, we believe that there is certain actions, certain efforts. It's painful now to practice, but it gives a very pleasant fruit in the future. There are certain action that is painful now, and it will ripen as pain in the future. This is what we want to avoid. There are something that is present now, it's happy now, and it gives a present fruit in the future. This is what we want, okay? And there are also things that are sensual pleasure, we enjoy it right now, but it gives painful in the future. This is what we avoid to. So only through observation, constant observation and reflection in the daily life, in the reality, that then we can know which are the conditions that will cause us painful or the pleasant results in the future. We have to make the choice in this way. And next is, after talking about suffering and causes and suffering, then the Buddha shows the path leading to the cessations of the suffering. That is the Noble Eightfold Path, okay? Noble Eightfold Path actually is the training of the body, the mind, and our speech. Right view, right intention is about the mental or the mind training, action, livelihood is about our own body actions, and the mindfulness concentration again is to train the mind. Okay, will and intention is to have the to develop the insight, the wisdom. And here you can see that action, speech, livelihood actually is about our interactions with other people. It's about interaction in the society. So that means that when Buddha teach the Noble Eightfold Path, it doesn't say that you can practice alone, you can achieve the attainment alone. It also includes the interaction, how to skillfully, correctly interact with others so that we can bring the benefits together. It is very important to develop the right action, right speech, and right livelihood. And the will, intention, right mindfulness, right concentration, that is about the inner training, inner development. So the Noble Eightfold Path is about the inner training, individual training. It also includes the connections with others, okay? And effort includes in all aspects. We need to have the diligence or the right effort in all aspects, in cultivates the right understanding, in behaving well and interact with others, and constant mindfulness and concentration. All this needs constant right efforts. And so in the practice, especially in the Bodhisattva practice, there are much more to learn, okay? We see that the more we practice, we can see that there are much more to learn. That's why countless other dhammas, other practice, but I decide, I vow to learn them, okay? There is no just one way. So what are the things that we can learn? Here are the few things, the main teachings in the Bodhisattva practice, but all these are related to the Noble Eightfold Path, okay? For example, paramitas is the perfections of our generosity, morality, tolerance, meditation, diligence, and wisdom. You know, Master Jiri already mentioned the paramitas in his previous talk, okay? And our other teachers has also mentioned, you might heard about this as well, like the 4 Brahma Vihara, loving kindness, compassion, altruistic joy, and equanimity. It's not just about cultivation, the good intention. There are also other fields of learning that we should cultivate too. For example, if we have the chance, we can choose to learn a craftsman's skill, medicine, knowledge that can help others, linguistic to help others to develop knowledge, okay? And then logic and to cultivate the reasoning and logic thinking. And the inner study refer to the Dhamma practice in Buddhism. So the practice here actually is not just is the meaning, the purpose is to benefit others, at the same time benefit ourselves. In order to benefit others, we need to form a good relation with other people, with other beings. So how to connect, to build up the connections? Generosity, speech, kind speech. Okay, kind speech doesn't mean that you always speak so kindly, but with a unwholesome intention. Kind speech, it should be with a very generous and truthful intention behind. So sometimes like the mother, or you know, even we can see the Buddha, he will scold someone. The word is very harsh, but the intention is very kind. That means that is the kind word, kind speech. Beneficial action, working together, all this will foster the relation with others. So all these are the things that we can learn and to practice. So even in the Buddha in the Noble Eightfold Path, the right livelihood, it mentioned that for all the earnings or the monies that we earn, please save a portion of the money in order to learn something, to train ourselves, to learn a profession. So that is the new skill, not just to benefit ourselves, but also to benefit others. Okay, so there's so much to learn. And through all this practice, the purpose, the goal is to cease the suffering. So how to define the suffering? That is the nirvana or nibbana in the Pali term. It means the extinction of the fire, overcoming all the unwholesome roots, so that we can free from the cycles of the rebirth. Or once we free from all these fire desires, there is no more shaking in the mind, and thus is reach a perfect stillness, or is beyond the conditions, beyond causes and conditions. That's why it reach a state of unconditionality. Okay, so nirvana is not to rebirth to a place, to a certain, a particular space. It means really at this moment, if we can totally extinct all the fires of greed, hatreds, and ignorance, then that is the nirvana, with residue or without residue. For example, the Buddha, after the enlightenment under the body tree, that is nirvana without with the residue, with the body. Okay, when the body ceases, that is without residue. And another state, just like the Buddha or the Buddhahood, there is the supreme perfect enlightenment. So it's not just about extinction of the unwholesome roots. It's also about the perfections of the qualities that we have. Perfections in generosity, perfections in intelligence, perfections in determinations. So all these, this is what it means through the attainment of the supreme perfect enlightenment. That's why if we have the confidence in this, then no matter how long it is, how advanced it is, how supreme it is, I vow to attain it. Okay. So really, if we truly go acknowledge and understand the meaning and the purpose of the Buddhist practice, it's not just about letting go. It's not just about detachment. It's also about transformation, purification, purifying the unwholesome to become the wholesome, transform them to perfect them. Like we transform the ignorance to become wisdom, wisdom not just for myself, but to benefit others, to show people to show other people the way, and to transform the desire, the self-centered desire, into a strong will for what? Strong desire for what? To be free from the detachment, to be free from attachment, from these cycles of craving. Okay, that is the ultimate deliverance. And next is to transform ill will to non-ill will. In the Buddhism, non-ill will actually is loving kindness and compassion. Only we able to totally free from the self-attachment, then we can be truly compassion, the great compassion and loving kindness. And this is the talk that given by the Buddha in his first discourse. At the end of his discourse, he repeat this 3 times. That means he turned the Dharma wheel 3 times. First time he preached in order to reveal the truth. The second time he turned the Dharma wheel because he want to advise people, please practice according this. And the third time when he turned the Dharma wheel, he just want to show that because I show you because I have done it. I realize it by myself. That is my experience. You should have the confidence in it. So what the Buddha tried to say that he showed us, he guides us the path, but it's up to us. We need to take action. It's not just about believing or having faith or not, okay? This is not just a philosophy talking. It's about the actions. So started from the day when the Buddha preached his first discourse, all the bodhisattvas in the Buddhism, they walk the same path, they realize the same truth, and they make the similar vow. It's the same for the Manjushri Bodhisattva, who has attained a very profound wisdom, okay? So to end my talk, I would like to share with you that just review together with you that to talk about the practice in the Bodhisattva practice is not straight jump into the profound wisdom or the profound teaching. We start at the beginning, remove the unwholesome habits, okay, to cultivate the wholesome one. Then we can slowly to realize what it means by all this emptiness, non-self. We have to have the wholesome contact, and then we see that the objects that we contact is also composed of causes and conditions. Even the eye contact, this body, physical bodies are also composed of the causes and conditions. That's okay. Here is, I want to share two quotes from the Buddha. It says, "Those who know the body is like a fragile vessel made a fortress of the mind. They are ever vigilant and with the sword of the wisdom, just like the Manjushri Bodhisattva, they wage constant war with the defilements. And the one who has conquered oneself is a far greater hero than one who has defeated 1,000 times 1,000 men." That is my talk today, and thank you.